Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best Galaxy Opal cards in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM here on this tier list. So we got quite a lot of Opals to rank. It's like 60-something cards on this list. A pretty stacked list with a lot of the best Opals in MyTEAM. Definitely a very thorough list. So hopefully I get to every single card y'all are interested to hear my thoughts on in this video. Before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it and let's take a look at this list. So we'll start off with the first card on the list, which of course is going to be LeBron James. At this point, LeBron just doesn't have the movement, nor does he really have the innovations to be extremely elite. I think, as crazy as this probably is to say, B tier is not out of the question at this point because his jumper is good, but it is no longer great. And in all honesty, I wouldn't sit here and say that he is much of a shot creator at all, despite being a great one in real life. Obviously, he's not in 2K. I just don't think this card is that great. I mean, maybe that's a biased opinion. Maybe that's a surprising opinion. But I love LeBron, and I just don't think at this point in the year that this card is particularly special. Defensively, he's still great. He's still a great slasher, but as an overall card, I think B tier is probably right. Danilo Gallinari, got to be A at least, if not even arguably S. 6'10" with a really nice jump shot, has versatility as a shot creator, nice complete stats and badges, pretty well rounded, and I really like his jump shot. I think updated animations on him, just like overall a very solid recent card who's definitely very well rounded and very good. Again, this is kind of feeling out process these first couple spots on the list, but I think Wilt is going to go C tier. And the reason that I say that is because his limitations as a shooter are a real problem. I think it's really the whole thing that holds Wilt back, because overall, while he's not a terrible card, he's just not, in my opinion, all that capable as a shooter anymore, and it really does hold him back. But athletically and his rebounding is really good, and maybe that still gives him B tier value. I don't know. I feel like AK's B tier. Just defensively great, movement wise jumper is pretty good, but not out of the not amazing at this point in the year. I don't mind this AK card, but I think his dark matter is a whole heck of a lot better than this Galaxy Opal. Norm Powell looks okay. I think B tier is probably fair for him. And in terms of Opal point guards, he's definitely in the middle. I've heard good things about a jumper, I believe, but I mean, stat and badge wise looks solid. He's a good slasher. He's not great defensively though. Not bad, but not awesome. I think probably B tier for him. I think D-Rob's also going to go B tier, honestly. Again, like, for his time, really good card, but he was like, what, season 3? Like, at this point in the year, I wouldn't really recommend Opal D-Rob. Jumper's just a little bit on the slower end, and I just don't think he's like insanely top tier, but I don't think he's bad either. E, speaking of, I feel like you're gonna have a lot of B tiers, but E is just, he's got good shot, smooth release, versatile, solid size. Like, he does a lot of things well. I don't think this card is bad. I don't think he's insane, but I don't think he's bad, and I think B tier is probably fair. I like his jumper. Anton Jameson, I am going to put in the S tier. I really like that card. I think he's legitimately very, very good, and I think he deserves to be S tier. His jumper is absolutely money. He's cheap. He's versatile. He's got good movement, actually. Pretty solid stats and bad. Is like one of the surprisingly more complete Opals. I guess, again, because he's new, that's not totally shocking, but Paul George gives you elite level size and defense as well as slashing, really just stats and badges in general at the shooting guard position. The biggest flaw with Paul George pretty easily is just the fact that, in all honesty, he's not much of a shot creator and he doesn't have a fade. I still think he's good enough to go A tier though, even to this point in the year. Low A tier for McAdoo. Lack of size is annoying, but the jumper's awesome. Defensively, he is pretty good. I think he's a solid card. I don't mind him as an A tier option. Hassan Whiteside's jumper is absolutely atrocious, and it kills what is otherwise a potentially pretty solid card. He has a very nice player build. He's a good rebounder. He's got good speed, but his jumper is just awful. I mean, really bad, and I think it holds him back. In my opinion, puts him in that C tier. Cade Cunningham's going to go A tier for me. I definitely would rather have him than Norm Powell. The additional size is nice. Doesn't really have a fade, and the same side heads he's also limiting, but he does have a good escape. I like the jumper. I think the size is pretty good. He's listed at 6'6", but honestly looks a bit taller than that. He's a solid card. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with putting him in the A tier. Vlade Divac, definitely better than D-Rob, but other guy who I think I'd put in the A tier. Definitely a very solid card. 7'1", kind of does everything pretty well. Not bad at all. Vucevic, high B or low? Well, I think I'll go low A for him as well. I like Vucevic. I think he's good. I think his jumper's super nice. I think defensively he's solid. I think Vucevic is a very solid card, and I don't have any problems personally putting him in the B tier, in the A tier. I think he's a pretty good card. OG Anunoby feels like a slightly worse Paul George. Is he worse enough to go? I don't know. He's 6'7". His jumper's nice. He does have good defense. He's just not a great shot creator, but a lot of cards on this list aren't. I'm going to go A for OG. I like OG a lot. It's tough, but I think he's got to go in that A tier. Obviously, Wemby's S tier. He's the best Opal center in the game. And besides Yao, he's still got a serious argument as best center in the game, period. The card is incredibly elite, and he is a mainstay on my squad and probably will be, I would think, for a while at this point. I don't know, because I feel like Wemby's next card's going to be 100 overall. I'm not going to be able to afford that card, so I'm just going to keep running his Galaxy Opal, probably. Minute Bowl. I think the speed kills this card. I really feel like I have to put him in the B tier. I mean, the C tier. He's 50-something speed. I know he's huge, but his jumper's not that good, and he's super slow. It's a problem. I think he's C tier. David West is a 6'10", 6'9". He's 6'9". He can play small forward. His jumper's not bad. Defensively, he's pretty good. He's not an elite level perimeter defender, though. He doesn't really provide much off the dribble stuff. Honestly, probably wouldn't really recommend that card. I think C tier for him. Kuzma, just not good enough defensively. I mean, I'd rather have Braun and AK just because they provide a lot of defense. Kuzma doesn't provide shot creation. He doesn't really provide high level defense either. I think he's also C tier. Same tier with Kareem as I'm going with Wilt and Hassan Whitehead. All these guys are just so limited as shooters at this point in the year that it's tough to put them on the court against a high level opponent. And so in my opinion, I think they're all in C tier. RJ Barrett, fine shooting guard, not a special card. Jumper's nice, movement's okay. He's not bad. He's got decent slashing. He's not a bad defender. He's a well-rounded, solid, if not special card. I think B tier is fair for RJ Barrett. Anthony Davis, honestly, I don't love his jump shot. He's not huge at power forward. He's a good defender, but he's not really an insane card at this point in the year. I think he's C tier. I don't love the card. Ricky Davis. Low key is my favorite shooting guard nest in A tier. I think he's still A tier. I don't think he's quite S tier. Do I have any S tier shooting guards in this list? I got to look at this list and decide, because I feel like there's got to be at least one shooting guard in S tier, and I don't know. I mean, there's probably one or two that I like more than him, but he might be S tier. I don't know. It's close. Ricky Davis provides the shot creation that Ricky Davis provides is really valuable. Defensively, he's not special, but he is a legitimate scorer with a good jump shot and pretty good movement and elite slashing and good size. And I think he's a solid card. I'm actually going to go S tier for Ricky Davis. Jared Wallace, love the defense. Wish he was a little taller, but I think he's a good card. I think B tier. Chris Mullin, good shot maker and defender, well-rounded card, high speed, or high three ball. He's at 99 three ball, and his release is pretty good. I think he's B tier. I think Kirk Heinrich is easily A tier and maybe even arguably S tier. He's legitimately really nice. Jumper's money. Defensively, he looks good. Doesn't look like an insane slasher, but capable enough. I think he looks really good. I think he's A tier. Karis LeVert. This card doesn't look good. I'll be totally honest. He doesn't have movement. He doesn't have much defense. He doesn't really have SIGs. I don't know what his jumper is, but he, to me, looks super mediocre. I'm not a big fan of that card. Del Curry's actually solid. 2K made Del Curry pretty good, honestly. Definitely better than you would expect for a Del Curry card in my team. He's generally not super duper good besides his shooting ability, but this year he does have some extra movement. Only a 75 driving dunk is annoying, but Jalen Green dribble style, Steph escape, nice release, normal fade. Like, he's not a bad card. He's got a little bit of defense. I think, oh, this is the wrong list. Sorry, doing that one in a little bit. I think you got to go C for him, though. I don't think he's got quite enough. Levine, unpopular opinion, but he doesn't do anything off the dribble for me, and he doesn't play much defense. I'm not a big fan, honestly. I don't know. I just personally have not been a big fan of Levine really all year. His cards have been a little overrated in my opinion, especially at this point in the year. I think I'm going C, and maybe that's a big gap between him and Cade. I'll go B, but I don't feel great about it. I almost want to put him C. Gilbert Arenas, he's fine. He's not great. There's nothing you look at and go, oh, that card's awesome. But he's not bad. DeJounte Murray's A tier. Don't think he's quite S, but he does have Curry escape. He's good defensively. Solid jump shot. Solid card. I think A tier for sure. Don't mind that. Nick Young, I feel like has to go S tier. The offense is elite. The jumper's amazing. Slashing is amazing. He's almost like a shooting guard Beasley in a lot of ways, although his jumper's not quite as good, but he's very, very good, and I think he's S tier. Tyler Hansbrough is better than all the A tier small forwards, except for maybe Gallinari. You know who is S tier is Gallinari. I think he's S tier. I think Hansbrough is A tier. I think Gallinari's S tier. I really like that Gallinari card. He's better than Tyler Hansbrough, and Hansbrough even is borderline S tier. He's a good card. Like, I think that's totally fair. Tony Allen is awful. His jumper's bad, and he's 6'4" at shooting guard. He's legitimately terrible. Like, Karis LeVert isn't very good. This Tony Allen card stinks. I think he's legitimately he's the worst card we've looked at so far, for sure. Alex Caruso provides elite level point guard defense and slashing and just overall good versatility with a nice release, all that type of stuff. As an S tier point guard, that is a no-brainer. He's a very good card. Karl Malone doesn't provide you with quite enough defense on the perimeter, at least, but interior-wise, he's dominant. He's a great finisher. His jumper's pretty nice. I think he's a solid card, and I think he's B tier. Not bad at all. Devin Vassell. Probably B. Not quite tall enough to be A. Sten Badgers looks pretty good, but I think he's B tier. I don't think he's great. Kenyon Martin, underrated card, honestly, not bad. I feel like he's also probably B tier. He's not better than all these other B tier guys, but he's on the same level as them. Athletic, not a horrible jump shot. Solid card. I feel like B tier is the right spot for him too. MJ's gonna go D tier. I'm sorry. He's a worse version of his Dark Matter, who's a card I already don't like. His jump shot, I just can't stand it. I'm not a fan of MJ at all. His 100 overall's arguably still best point guard. I'd probably put him second, but his Dark Matter and his Galaxy Opal that came out this last week are not good. Domantas Sabonis is honestly pretty mediocre. He's 6'11". He doesn't have great speed. He's not as tall as he used to be. His cards used to be listed at 7'1". And he's not this shot creator. I mean, passing stats are overrated in this game, especially on bigs. Not overrated, they're just not that good. Then I think in general, he's got to go in the C tier. Not that big of a fan. Jamal Mashburn looks super duper solid. He's a 6'8" small forward, but he's got a nice jumper, decent movement. Looks like a good defender. Looks super duper solid. Definitely, I think B tier. Not bad there. Shane Battier, love the jump shot, love the defense, love the player build. That's an A tier card. He's really, really good. For a pure 3-and-D, I know there's a lot of them in this game. Shane Battier is a great one for sure. Mike Conley, I can't put you higher than C tier. You're just so small. His jumper's nice. His movement isn't terrible, but he's so small it's hard to not put him in C tier. Even Jordan Poole, it's like I feel like C tier is as high as I can go with him too. He's just not that cold, to be honest. I don't know. He doesn't have the SIGs. His jumper's not that great. I think he's overrated. Larry Markkinen, another card that I think is overrated. C tier. Defensively, he's kind of slow. Offensively, he does nothing with the ball in his hands. Got a decent jumper, but that's about it. I think C tier for him. Yao, I'm not a fan of, but I think some of B. He is huge, and he isn't horribly unusably slow or horrible as a shooter. He's just not great. I think B tier is the right spot for Yao. Dorian Finney-Smith, 3-and-D. Is he good enough 3-and-D to be A tier? No, he's not. We got a million 3-and-D shooting small forwards in B tier, and I think Dorian Finney-Smith joins that group. Carlos Boozer, he gets A. His jumper's money, and he is a good defender, and he's big and versatile. He's a good card. I'll give him A tier. I think that's fair. Hibbert, if his jumper was good, no brainer S tier. I still think I'm going to put him at the back S tier. His size, his defensive ability, his animations, his stats and badges, just in general, he is a really, really good giant big man stopper. Defensively, he's a monster. Offensively, he's kind of just there, but I think he's definitely S tier personally, even if it is towards the lower end. Gobert is literally Wilt / Kareem / guys like that reincarnated. Jumper's a little bit better though. Defensively, he's he's not quite as fast, but I think he's probably overall a little bit better card. I think I'll go B tier for Gobert. Feels fair to me. Rudy Gay gives you all the shot creation in the world, but he doesn't give you the defense to boot. Not really anyway, at only 6'8" without incredible defensive stats and badges. So I think realistically with Rudy Gay, he's probably still got to go B tier, despite the fact that he is a pretty fun card to use offensively. Jay Rich gives you a lot of shot creation and not a lot else. I mean, honestly, not even a ton of shot creation. His jumper's just really good. But the SIGs aren't top tier. Neither is defense is certainly not. His slashing and his shot are really good, but I'm gonna go low B. I don't mind Jason Richardson in B tier. That feels fair. Juan Dixon, can't not put him high B. Just incredible scorer at the end of the day. Offensively, he's great. Defensively, he's not as much, but still B tier. Drazen, wish he was taller than 6'5". Yeah, we'll go B tier. I think that's fair. Drazen in B tier feels like the right spot for him as well. Hito Turkoglu, 6'10" small forward, but his animations are not that great. I don't love his jumper. I'm going to go C tier. I'm not a big fan of him personally. Bronny, I'm going to go D tier. I hate his jumper. I think he stinks. I'm not a fan of Bronny at all in this game. He just isn't good. I hope he succeeds in real life, but in this game, he's not that good. Paulo Banchero is yet another mediocre B tier diamond small forward, and honestly, he's towards the bottom of the list. I think he still does crack B tier, but doesn't quite have the shot creation that you'd really want for at this point in the year. Not a card that I like particularly love. Cat, C. Jumper isn't that great. Speed isn't that great. He's just not special. He's pretty mediocre. Giannis is going to go A tier for me, mainly because of the defensive ability that he has. He's extremely versatile and high level defensively, extremely switchable. Just an awesome good card. feel like Giannis in A tier makes sense, even if it is only his Galaxy Opal. Joakim Noah, speaking of A tier, also going to go A tier. Awesome jumper, defensively really good. In fact, actually, I think he's the best power forward in this list so far. I'm going to put Joakim in S tier. I love this card. I think his jumper is awesome. I think defensively he's a stud, and I like him. He's got good size. He's got good speed. Like, he's a well-rounded, super duper solid card. Joakim Noah, for me, has to be S tier. Next up is going to be Jason Terry, who I think is D tier, has no real shot creation besides like a dribble style, but honestly at 6'2" with an ugly jumper, he's not even close to playing. He's an easy decision there to put in a D tier. Kyle Korver, awesome 3 and D. So good that I am going to give him the edge over the B tier. I don't think I can go higher than that, but the 3 and D is really much there, especially the 3. But the defense is underrated as well. So Kyle Korver, not too bad. This Malcolm Brogdon card is pretty mid. I don't think I like his jumper very much this year. He's fine, but he's not special. I think C tier. Jaren, A. Defensively stud, offensively not exactly at this point, but he is good enough defensively where I could think you could still run him in A tier. Dino's obviously S tier. Love this card. My favorite Opal power forward personally. I think he's awesome. He's also very affordable. Really good card. Pat Williams, another solid, if not spectacular, small forward option. Nothing about that card excited me when I first looked at him, so I think I'm gonna go C tier because of the lack of size. Only 6'7". Caron Butler's actually good. In fact, he's good enough to go A tier, as crazy as that might sound. I love his jumper, and I think defensively he's legitimately solid. I think he's well-rounded. I think he's actually a pretty good card. Not even trolling there. And then John Isaac, who unfortunately, because the release is going to go B tier. If the release was better, he'd be at least A, and honestly, if the release was great, he'd be S tier. But as is, I don't think I can go higher than B, because the jumper is just too flawed at this point in the year. So not the biggest fan of Jonathan Isaac cards, because his jumper just isn't that great. So with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.